All right, this is gonna be a quick video showing you how to make a foot loop for two tethered climbing. Um, Here is a foot loop that I sewed together. I have two carabiners in to use as a guard a foot loop. If you're familiar with that, it locks in, but then you can move it, slide it up. Okay. For this, I'm just going to show you how to make a regular foot loop, which you can use as a garter but without sewing. So here I have a piece of tubular nylon webbing. You can kind of see the split in it. I put a match to it and melted it so it's not opening up as much. But that tubular webbing, is a tube. And inside of that, I'm not gonna take this out, but I have, you can see that's kind of stiff. That's just cut up zip ties to whatever length, a little bit larger than your foot that you want, so that when you tie everything up, it'll hold it open for you. This one didn't have any zip ties in it. It just kind of stayed together by the stiffness of it being sewed. So I like, if you look at the distance of this is about the length of the bottom of my foot with my boot in it. To the top is basically like the top of my knee. So you can use that for your measurement. For this tied up one that we're doing, you can adjust the length and then cut the ends later once you find something you're happy with. For this little piece is only about 3.5, maybe 4 foot. I would suggest using 6 foot. 6 foot's gonna allow you that adjustability, and then you can cut the excess. But this will show you how to do it. You'll just have to adjust the lengths later. So really all you would need to do, you could do a double overhand knot or something like that just to finish it out. I'm gonna show you how I like to do it. It's a little bit cleaner. I like to take a carabiner, and I like it girth hitched to the carabiner because it keeps it tight. You can also do a bull hitch. I'm not going to show that in this one, but anyway, so we're going to feed this through before we tie anything up. Hopefully this is showing. So as you can see there, I just went ahead and girth hitched it so that once I tie everything up, everything's oriented the same way. You can adjust the length later, but for now, just go ahead and pull some slack out like that. And then now this is pretty easy. You're just gonna do an overhand knot, single overhand knot, keep it loose. This is a water knot, way to attach 2 ends of webbing together, okay? And then you're gonna feed this back through. And by doing that, you're gonna come on the top side of this webbing. You'll have to pull a good amount through. And then I'll flip this over just so you can see it. See it right there? I'm just following that. Flip it back over, following this. See, I'm kind of running out of length here. Pull it over once more and pull it through here. Well, I guess if I show that too quickly, so just feeding it back through there. You can kind of work that down, okay? And then you want to pull all the different ends to get that slack out. For this, I wouldn't leave any less than that. I usually like to have a little bit more, but just showing you here. Okay, so now this looks kind of funky. I want to bring that knot up, so I'm just gonna feed that up, over, down, place. And then if this was in the way, you can just grab one side and kind of slide it through and get that back centered. But that's it. That's all I use. That's all this is. That's all my Garda foot loop is. You can see the difference in length, how much it takes up with the knots. But if you use 6 foot, you'll have about the same length of this, maybe a little bit more. And then if you wanted to, not necessary, but if you also rope climb and you're considering using the Garda, you can put 2 carabiners in this as well. They're tight to get off. That's kind of how you want them to maintain this. So maintaining my hitch right there. Put one in there. Everything's harder as a demonstration. Anyway, that'll tighten down, that maintains your girth hitch, and that'll work as your Garda. If JRB comes around, he'll hassle you about this. He likes to see a bull's hitch on that. That way you never have any slack on this. With the Garda hitch, if you use it in a Garda hitch, the way that Garda hitch works is that this hitch is pinching these bottoms together, such that when you weight these, the carabiner squeeze that rope. So if this ever got loose and this came undone, you see that rope would just slide right through it. Granted, if you have weight on it, it's not gonna do that. So the bull's hitch, you can do that as well. It just locks down better, but I'm not showing that today. So anyway, that's how to make a foot loop. Get your tether, normal prusik. Strap that in. There's your bottom foot loop. Easy as that. Looks something like that when you're done. All right, hope that's helpful.